welcome to my show. This is Friday night here in the UK. I did it about 5 minutes ago, but I realised it was not live, so I apologise to my guests here. I get all nervous, obviously, and I'm messing it all up, so apologies for this, but it is Friday, last day of British summertime. Clocks go back an hour here in the UK this week. Americans, you got to wait an extra week before your clocks go back, before you can get your hour back in bed. But tonight is all about my guest. It's a pleasure and an honor to welcome on comedian, actor, singer. I don't think there's anything else you don't do. You probably do it all. Please welcome Kyle Gordon. You're now actually live on my show.
Yes, thank you. Well, it's good. We had a little rehearsal before, so it's good.
Yes, we did. We had a bit of a rehearsal, right? And but we're here now. That's the main thing. And you're in the UK, and it started yesterday. You're on tour, and tomorrow night you're going to be in the same city as I'm currently in good old Manchester. That's our good old accent. But I mean, tell us how did it all about come happen then? How did you get here to the UK then to make this happen?
Yeah. So, I've done a bit of touring in the US, but I hadn't really been considering a UK tour, explicitly. But a booker who was based here in the UK reached out to me and wanted to pick my brain. He was a fan and wanted to see if I'd be interested in coming over and doing some shows. And I think, he was just a fan of some of my content online. And I think maybe he must have heard that I do, live comedy as well, which I've been doing much, much longer than, I've been doing the social media content. Yes. So when he reached out about doing that, I jumped at the chance. It was so, I hadn't done any international shows before this. Mm-hmm. I hadn't even done a show in Canada. So, jumping over and doing a show in the UK was pretty crazy for me. And I didn't know what to expect, but I had the first show in London last night. And yeah, people came out. It was super fun. People went, the energy was great. And so, yeah, I think a really, really good start to the UK tour. And then when I get back to the States on Monday, I've got a little bit of sort of a mini tour, doing some shows on the East Coast and Midwest. So it's a good start to the whole tour.
Exactly. And again, we'll get into that a bit more in a few minutes or so. And, it's great to see you over here, as you say, your first basically international tour, isn't it, really? Mm-hmm. Don't go to Canada, come straight here first. I love that.
Exactly.
Absolutely do. and I hope that you're enjoying all the experience here in the UK, because I did see your story on the day I posted that you're going to be on my show, that you were enjoying your first pint over here. Yeah. I like how you use pint and not like beer or something. So I do like the slang you've picked up. It's great to see. But how
yeah, it had to be authentic. Pint? Oh, it was wonderful. Oh man, if you told me, I wanted to make sure I had a local brand, but I wish I could remember the name of it. But it was amazing. And, it was right around the corner from the hotel. I had to go to the local pub and, do it up right. There was nothing that was, my girlfriend and I, she's with me on this tour. She usually doesn't come with me, but, the idea to go to the UK was much more exciting than, she's not coming with me to Indianapolis. I'll say that. So she, it was always in the plan. As soon as we got off the plane and checked into the hotel, we were going to go straight around the corner and have a pint.
Yeah, no, I did see that, and I thought, that's interesting, because I didn't expect to see your other half coming over with you. So I was quite, when I saw that, didn't they going to do that? So that was an interesting surprise for me, because I just thought it was just you here doing a tour on your own. But it's good to have someone with you, so it means you're not feeling alone or feeling homesick as well.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I'm very glad to have. She's a good traveling companion. And especially for my first international tour, she helped calm my nerves yesterday. So very grateful to have her.
There you go. See, it all comes in handy. In handy. And we hope that you'll see more of her, as you see. But as you've been in, of course, yesterday was a great first day. So what do you think the reaction was after your first performance? Were you a bit nervous beforehand, before you went out on stage?
Yeah, it's it's funny, like a lot of the material that I did yesterday, most of it is stuff I've been doing a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty comfortable with the material. Excuse me. But well, one, I hadn't done like my hour-long set for about a year or year and a half since I last went on tour. I do little, 10, 15-minute sets on other people's shows around New York City.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing the full show, it'd been a while and I changed a lot of things. There was some new stuff I added. So, but plus the additional thing of just, I don't know. It's like, is my humor going to translate in the UK? I don't know. Do people know me here? Like, who's coming out to the show? And it really did seem like the energy was great. People were totally on board, and yeah, it was cool to see that it did translate, or it seemed to.
And it did, and even one of my friends who I didn't even know. Didn't think she would know about you, but she did, and she knows all about you, and she thought it was very, very cool that I'm getting the chance to have you on my show today. As she saw you on another show, I think it was like I can't remember the actual name of it, but it was like Zachary something.
Oh, Zach
show.
Sang.
That's it, Zach Lang's show a few weeks ago in America, from America.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows all about you, and she's very surprised to see you on my show. So and I was like, yes, it's very surprising myself. I have to say.
Cool.
But you can't see it at the moment, but I'm actually wearing a New York shirt because I felt like to bring some home back to you, I thought I'll wear a New York shirt just for you tonight.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome, no problem at all. So, of course, if you want to check out his tour, because there is still tickets around, well, definitely for tomorrow night for Manchester, because I was looking earlier today to see if there are any tickets left, and there was a few tickets there and there. And you can see him in Manchester, UK, tomorrow at the Home Theatre in good old Manchester. And then to end it all, on Sunday, you're going to see him in the Glee Club in Glasgow as well, in good old Scotland. Are you ready for the Scottish folk?
Yeah, I'm psyched. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be maybe a culture shock. I don't know. It should be fun.
Yeah. Definitely. But I'm sure if the Londoners, if the Cockneys get your jokes, I'm sure the Mancunians will, and I'm definitely sure the Glasgowians will also. The
Glaswegians.
Yeah, there you go. That's the right wording you want. So again, I'm not from Scotland, so I don't know what the twang is. But there you go. We just put it on the screen there, and of course we'll talk about more about this because when you're over here for a short time, I'm guessing there's a few things you want to check out while you're waiting for your shows and whatnot. So what's some of the key things you're going to do in each city then you're traveling to?
So, yeah, it's interesting because today was the only day really that I had the full day off. I didn't have any show tonight. So, I did go to the UK once 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. We went on a family vacation.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I did kind of do some of the touristy things that I'd done when I was a kid. So Tower of London and Churchill War Rooms and all that stuff. Because I figure, I've got one day. Plus, I always say this whenever I go to a new city. Like, I live in New York.
Yes.
If I want to do the cool, hip things, I can do that any night of the week in New York. If I go to a new city, I want to do the most basic touristy thing I could possibly do. I think the big thing, as a big fan of music and a big fan of English music, my big thing in Manchester is I want to maybe do some record shopping and I don't know, like see some of the old music scene kind of highlights, maybe see the Hacienda or something like that. I don't know what's still there. I'm sure if it's anything like New York, CBGB's is now like a John Varvatos. So I don't know if the Hacienda is like a Burger King or something, but
yes. Well, we definitely have lots of Burger Kings, I'm sure, and a lot of Pizza Huts and Domino's and good old McDonald's as well. So there's plenty of those ones. But maybe they might not be as good as the Americans, because that's where it was a founding restaurant. So they might not be as good as those ones, but we try our hardest to try and impress, I'm sure. So Hope you get the chance to check them out while you're over here. Of course, in Manchester, we got two great football teams. Of course, one's better than the other. What it used to be, and that was good old Manchester United. You either red or blue, and this side where I live is more of a red. If you're into soccer, but I mean, outside of music, just for a moment, what are your other interests? Are you into sports or anything like that, or just mostly what you're focusing on as your career?
Yeah, I do love music. That's probably my, and collecting records. That's like a big hobby of mine. But yeah, I do follow sports. In particular, I am a big fan of American football. Probably of I'm not too much of a fan of soccer. So yeah, although the NFL is trying to make a big push, they have the weekly London games every week. So it is funny even walking around here in London. I have noticed a lot of people wearing merch from American football teams. I don't know if that's ironic or what, but yeah. So my girl, it didn't work out scheduling wise, but I was like, I would have loved to see like an American football game in London, but my girlfriend would never have allowed it. She has absolutely no interest in that at all. But
fair enough.
But that would be cool. Yeah.
It's not everyone's cup of tea, but out of interest, then, what is your go-to team then?
I'm a big fan of the New York Jets, so I've been a fan.
I feel sorry for you, then, isn't it? I feel
exactly.
Sorry for you.
It's been a long, difficult struggle. Don't even get me started. But there's a glimmer of hope this season. But that's the famous thing about being a Jets fan is they're not just consistently terrible. They tease you every season into thinking they might be good, and then they always disappoint you. So I'm in the phase of the season where I now think there's a glimmer of hope, and I know I'm wrong.
Right. Well, if you're just tuning into this conversation, we're talking about the NFL, and the Jets is probably the worst team to support. And I can't believe you decided to bring in the Aaron Rodgers, who I think should be retired now after what happened at the beginning of the season. One game in, and
he's walking though.
Yes.
See, that's the glimmer of hope. That's the glimmer of hope that we keep.
Yes, but I mean, you should get some bit younger, to be your quarterback. Just for saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, my team, the Las Vegas Raiders. I guess they're not doing this.
They're struggling a bit too now.
Yes, they are. We can't wait until that coach gets fired because he's the worst coach in the NFL. So as soon as he gets sacked, we'll be all joyous and very happy.
Well, they never should have left Oakland. That was the mistake they made. So there you go.
Debatable, but there you go. Debatable, right? Well, let's talk about as well then, your life, because you've done some incredible videos. It's just not for you're a comedian by heart, but you also do a lot of music as well, a lot of music parodies as well, a lot of different characters as well. So did anybody inspire you to get into this? Did you see something one day thought, oh, I might give that a go, or I might try this and see what happens type thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was one thing in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I think like if I were to point to particular like comedians or comedic writers or anything like that, creators that inspired me in my particular taste, on my comedy Mount Rushmore, like especially with the combination of music and comedy and music parodies. Christopher Guest is a big hero of mine. For those who might not know, if you've seen the movie Spinal Tap, or A Mighty Wind, he created a lot of these mockumentaries in the 80s and all the way into the 2000s, where he would, Spinal Tap, he had a fake sort of fake British hard rock band, and that was like really if you haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out. It's unbelievable. And like, it's really the first mockumentary. So The Office or Parks and Rec, any of these shows wouldn't exist without Spinal Tap. So he's a really big hero of mine, especially when it comes to combining the music and comedy. I also really love Chris Farley, who was on Saturday Night Live in the 90s. and he made some great, very silly, stupid comedy movies. Tommy Boy is my favorite, and so he's also a really huge influence of mine. So those are two people that are I grew up like idolizing.
Yeah, no, absolutely great names for sure. And I like how you the first time you ever get to hear the words of those of that famous TV show live from New York. It's Saturday night, so
Yeah.
I guess as well. Hopefully, we get to see you on that show. Hosting one day. That would be a cool thing.
Yeah, you know, you never know. You never know.
Well, never say never. I think it will happen
Yeah.
in the next
Yeah.
years. I think it will happen in the next year. If
Cool.
it doesn't happen, they're all fools for not having you, be a part of the show. Because I think it'd just be hilarious just having you involved in the show. I think
Thanks.
that will make the Saturdays the highest rated comedy show on NBC for a long time, I'm sure. But there you go. But I was reading as well, about how your different parodies and different music videos, have gotten great streams. For instance, like 5.5 million streams and 250 million views across social medias before for Planet of the Bass featuring DJ Crazy Times, and it's just you know were you expecting that kind of reaction for that particular video when you posted it and all that?
Well, I thought it would do well.
Yeah.
I didn't think it. Yeah, I did not expect the reaction it got and how crazy, it blew up. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way you can, kind of really prepare for something like that. But yeah, the way it just blew up was like, yeah, it was amazing. I couldn't have asked for it to be better.
Exactly, and I've listened to it, and it's very catchy, and it's definitely gives you the '90s vibes, and that's what people
Right.
miss. It's the '90s, and the noughties, it's a bit more edgier, back in them days, and it's great to see, that kind of style in the modern day type thing. So we hope there's gonna be more of that kind of style to come as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there'd probably be some more DJ Crazy Times content and songs I put out for sure. But the fun thing is DJ Crazy Times and that song Plan of the Bass is just one song on a whole album I have coming
Yes, you do.
out,
Yeah, yeah.
called the album's called Kyle Gordon is Great. I'm an extremely humble and down to earth person. And the each song on the album is a parody of a different genre. So in the same way that Planet of the Bass is a parody of like 90s Eurodance, each song on the album is a parody of like a different genre. So I have like a 90s 2000s country parody, I have like a 2000s emo parody. There's, a children's music parody, so there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And also as well, you have released a newish single, "Girls Are the Best." I did add
Yeah.
that to my not my single, to the Instagram story when I first announced it, that you were going to
Well,
be on the show yesterday. I just wanted to do something. As we size that, um, tell us about that song. What was the inspiration behind that single?
yeah, so that's sort of a parody of like um I think there was like a subgenre of very female centric pop country in country music in the late 90s, early 2000s. Probably the most famous would be like Shania Twain,
Oh
like
yeah,
Man, I Feel Like a Woman. But then also like the Dixie Chicks were really huge. Martina McBride, and there were all these like kind of girl power anthem country songs. So I
mm-hmm.
wanted to parody that. Now I'm always looking for to try to parody, especially with parodies, is maybe tackle a genre that maybe isn't so obvious or I don't think I've seen parodied before.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was drawn to that.
I bet it was quite hard at first, to try and bring the two together, or was it quite easy to you to just to bring them both together?
I mean, I think like as a general rule, I think like that's sort of where my taste lies. Like it's very fun and easy for me to kind of, once I get my hooks into something and I can really wrap my brain around it and I feel like I really understand it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's more like seeking, kind of I think it takes a while for me to find something really exciting for me to like want to parody or write about or tackle as a subject. But I think actually, that song in particular, that went through probably more than any other song that went through a lot of different iterations, and there was
Okay.
a lot of trial and error with that. And I would, mostly it was through playing the song live, and I'd see like a particular line. I'm like, that's not really working. I try it again, change
Yeah.
things. And so that one in particular was sort of a little bit more laborious than maybe some of the other ones, but I am really happy with how it turned out.
Good. Good to hear, and I'm glad it's doing quite well. Sorry for the background noise here, ladies and gents, because of the fact that the a hanger just crashed down to the floor. I don't know if you didn't hear it, ignore it. If you did, then that's okay. It's part of the mysterious act I'm trying to bring to the show tonight. Yes, I put the fun and 13 for this show this evening. Great song. It's, again, another catchy song of yours. You've also done a parody song from like the 40s as well. And after each time you release these songs, what is the feedback like from your fans?
I think it's been pretty good. Like I think, what it's strange for, an album of music in general, or like to have all these songs coming out because, what I do is by parodying different genres, each style of music, each song sounds so completely different from the one that came before.
Yeah.
So I think there can be a little bit of whiplash for audiences who maybe like, if you're a fan of Planet of the Bass, my next song, Ugliest Girl on the Beach, which is like a 60s bossa nova type song, it sounds completely different. And I think that's not the way a lot of people listen to music.
No.
Usually they go for like one vibe and kind of ride it out. So it has been, excuse me, cool to see that, a lot of people, and especially the good thing is that, I have sort of cultivated a pretty loyal fan base and audience over like the 3.5 years I've been doing social media. So those old fans, they know that I do tons and tons of different things. So in the same way that each song is sort of a different character, I've been doing that for a long time, doing tons and tons of different characters, each of which is very, very different from the one that came before. So I think the people who have known me for a while, they're not really surprised by how different each song sounds and how much maybe variety there is.
Yeah, no, we like variety. We always do, and you do a lot of variety with your genres. And on this show, people think I just do one genre, but I ain't cover anything. If it's interesting, and it's gonna be covered right here on this show. And I call this show, by the way, the best kept secret on YouTube, because you never know who's gonna come on the show. Like you, for instance, tonight. So.
Right.
I don't know about a good tagline. I have no idea, but
I love it. It's great.
thank you. But let's also talk about as well. Your goals for the rest of 2023. What are your goals for the rest of 2023 then? Or have you already or maybe you already achieved them now because you're here in the UK as we speak?
Well, I mean, yeah, this is sort of a bucket list thing for me to, be able to tour internationally and do shows in the UK. It's pretty, yeah, this is up there. But excuse me. Yeah, I think my big goals for 2023 would probably be doing more film and TV projects, either pitching a TV show or movie, or writing and getting something like that greenlit, or acting in more film and TV projects. I would say that's the big bucket list goal for 2023. Once because the album itself and having it come out, that was already a big goal of mine. So I guess the next step would be more traditional film and TV.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Can't wait to see what happens in that other show, or even in 2024. Should be.
Yeah, 2024. I misspoke. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 2024.
Well, there is still 2 months of this of this, so you never know. You might surprise with something else in the works. Maybe you never know. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see. And of course, we should give a shout out to, of course, Tanya Mccabe, who is also a part of that great single "Girls Are the Best" as well. And of course, you mentioned before you're going on tour in November in the US, and I believe, as you said before, around the East Coast. And is there a particular city you're looking forward the most to performing in outside of New York?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, my New York show I'm very excited for. That's my hometown, but excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat.
No worries. I got that impression on people where we get all sorts of going. It's all good. It's live TV. I like it. See, someone said to me, someone actually asked me the other day, "Why do you do this live?" And because this is one of the reasons why. The risk of anything could go wrong, and
yeah, exactly. What can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I just do one take, one shot. Who cares? That's what I do.
Yeah. Love it.
I'm very good at living here, ladies and gentlemen.
Love it. It's raw. It's raw and real.
It's raw and real. I need to put that as a caption. There we go.
Cool. But I'm excited to go back to Boston. So I have 2 shows sold out in Boston. And I've done shows there before. People are always great to me, and the crowds have been really great. So I'm excited to go back. Philadelphia as well, but doing some shows in the Midwest, in new cities I've never even been to. So Indianapolis, St. Louis, that'll be cool. I'm excited to see what they're like.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to say as well, when you go to Indianapolis, you can say Indianapolis, or something like that, type of thing. Because of the famous person who lives there called Pat McAfee, and he always says on his show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know who he is? That's good to know. Of course you would do, because you're NFL fan. Of course you do. So he always says Indiana, something like that. He says so. So at least you get to say that when you go there. You could open your show
I'll
like
try
that.
it out.
Yeah,
I'll try it out. Yeah,
see what the reaction is. Yeah, and if you don't like it, just say I thought of it.
Yeah, right. I'll blame it on some British guy. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. There you go. I like that. But yeah, I hope you have a great time. Exploring those new towns, just like you're over here in good old England. And hopefully this can become more of a regular thing for you, and you get to explore different venues and different cities as well. But I'm glad of all the cities you've chosen Manchester to come to, because nowadays people go to like Birmingham, or they go down to like Wolverhampton, or or even Newcastle nowadays, not Manchester. So it's good to see some real people still. Manchester's one of the best places to go.
Yeah, I've only heard amazing things, and yeah, as I said, as a fan of like British rock and pop music, Manchester, it's a legendary town. So I'm excited.
Great, you hear it first. A legendary city. There we go. I love it. I love that. Well, talk to me about when you're not performing or doing social media content. How do you turn off? How do you relax?
Yeah, well, it's just been so crazy the past few months in particular since Planet of the Bass came out. I haven't been able to do as much of the, usually I'm a pretty low-key person. I'm not a big, go out, party all the time person. So I don't know if that's a surprise or not to people, but probably not. But I like to read, watch movies, pretty low key. Maybe just have a drink with friends. I'm not really a crazy, probably the biggest hobby I have is like record collecting. And it's funny because like I've been able to encompass all my other hobbies, which would have been like playing guitar and playing music. That's such a part of my work now. So it's like, it's not a hobby. It's like, but I do like playing guitar for fun, playing songs and learning songs that I like that I didn't write myself. So yeah, that's sort of my daily Kyle off the clock sort of schedule.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that. You got things to keep you busy when you're not occupied with doing other things. You mentioned about movies there. What's some of your go-to movies? Can anybody relate to these movies you like to watch or dive into?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always like to go back to, I don't really watch new movies too much.
No.
If I'm like going on, Netflix or HBO Max, I'm usually like digging in the crates with movies and too. It's same with music. I like older music.
Good.
Um,
Good.
but yeah, I love one of my I love the movies of Christopher Guest. I already mentioned
Yes,
him.
you
He's
did. Yeah.
one of my yeah. But I love I love old like 90s action movies. The Fugitive is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah.
I love I've done a lot of baseball content on TikTok, so it's been fun over the past few year. Like I think I've watched like every baseball movie ever. It's that's been fun. But yeah, I like pretty much like 20th century stuff, 20th century movies and older movies and things like that.
Yeah. No. Well, one of the movies I've been watching recently. Well, movies which have been a trilogy of movies is the of course the Beverly Hills Cop, because of course apparently
Oh yeah.
next year is meant to be the fourth and final ever film of that. I can't believe it's
Oh
even being
wow.
made. So I've been watching the first and second one, which is always hilarious, and of course I've never seen those two. I've only seen the third one, which I always thought was the best and last ever one, because of course it was done in 1994 and there have been none since, and now we're going to get this older Axel Foley who's a bit more tubbier than he was when he was doing those back in the 80s and 90s. It's going to be interesting to see how he's doing it nowadays, like crashing off cars and whatnot. Is he going to be doing that, or is he going to get somebody a bit younger to do it for him, type thing? Because he's a bit older now, he's in his late 50s, I believe. A bit dangerous doing all those kind of stunts compared to like 30
I think
years
he's
ago.
in his 60s. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I never saw Beverly Hills. I don't think I saw Beverly Hills Cop 2 or 3.
Oh,
So
right.
I'll have to go back and revisit that.
Yeah, Beverly Hills 2 is also quite good as well. I do prefer it's quite hilarious, like the third one is as well. So, but I always prefer the third one. I've never seen the first or second, but now I'm still intrigued. So I've got the third one to watch again, and then I can give my final decision on which one I prefer more.
All right. Yeah.
But I think it's number 3 still. Let's just see. Who would you want to collab with in either this year still or in next year? I know you've collabed with again another first name. Now I mentioned these people on my show before, the Jonas Brothers. You did something with them back in August on their Instagram, and then of course you were allowed to share to your fans as well. What a great thing that was, and is that something to come? Was that a tease of what to come maybe next year?
Yeah, I don't know. That was like, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I did something with Ed Sheeran, so
Yes.
I think, like,
Huge
whenever
name.
those opportunities, yeah. So I think whenever opportunities like that come up, I'm always, it's cool that I've had the opportunity to do things like that. So hopefully more stuff like that will happen in the future. I'm hopeful that it will.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. But I mean, is there anybody you would love to maybe collaborate with next year?
I'm saying, people in particular, a bucket list person for me
Yeah.
to one day do something with, especially maybe write a song, would be like Trey Parker from who is one of the creators of South Park.
Yeah.
So to do something with him would be a dream.
Yeah, no, that would be something special for sure, and hopefully that can happen for you very soon, because you're only going upwards and onwards. Because you can put that on your CV now. Jonas Brothers, Ed Sheeran. Who's going to be next? It's an exciting list for you, and I hope it continues to get better and keep going for you. Any advice? For anybody who is maybe a comedian like yourself, wanting to take that next step but don't know how to? Any advice for that?
I would just say, just go out there and do it. Try it. Don't overthink it, because there's this time in every person's career, no matter what you're doing, uh, especially if you're serious about it, where when you're first starting out, your taste doesn't quite match your ability, and it takes a long time of essentially like trying and failing to get to where you want to be. So I would say just don't hesitate, get out there. You're probably going to fail many, 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 many times, and that's how you get good quick. So I would say, like, if you want to be a comedian, just go out to an open mic, and just try stuff out, and just keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's great advice. And a question I've always wanted to ask a comedian, because you're the first comedian to come on my show, by the way. So you're making history by having, the first comedian. So I like this. So,
what a day.
So, is it easier to, practice in front of your friends or family of a routine you want to deliver in front of a wider audience to see if they think it's funny before doing it? Or is it best to just go out there, ab libre, or in front of random people to get a better survey of if it's going to be great to reuse again at another show somewhere else type thing, if that makes sense?
Totally. Yeah. No, there's no substitute for trying it in front of an audience. That's the weird sort of unique thing about comedy, I think. You really don't know if something's going to work until you test it in front of an audience. I think that's the thing of, doing it for many, many years.
Okay.
It becomes easier to sort of guess what will and won't work because you just have so much experience. But at the end of the day, yeah, you really, there's no substitute. So yeah, trying out in front of my parents is not, if they like it, that is not an indication of whether an audience is going to like it.
Right.
And, yeah. So yeah, you just got to, and sometimes you try stuff on stage and you're like, wow, I thought that was going to be great.
Yeah.
And crickets. So yeah, it happens.
Do you think do you think everybody should give it a go, maybe just to try it out? Out of their comfort zone. Do you think someone just go out there if they're interested in comedy and think, it looks easy, should I try it? Should they just do it just to see, off the off chance it might be for them, and then if it's not for them to do, go back to doing whatever they were doing beforehand?
No, comedy is miserable. Absolutely not. Yeah, no. If you're thinking maybe you want to do it and try it, yeah, go for it. But like, yeah, it is absolutely not for everyone.
Yeah. I just don't think it'd be for me. I don't think I'm funny enough to just to go out there on a whim.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, just
you won't.
Like,
go on.
No, I say, yeah, you don't know until you try it. That's true. But if you're not interested in it, no reason to subject yourself to that torture. It's
tough. But I've just been thinking, like, should I give it a go? Because like I've had on people on the show, like yourself, for instance, and other people, and they seem to laugh at some of my things I say on this show. So I thought, is that really comedy? I don't know, but I just.
If you're interested, go to an open mic. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I don't know if I should do that. No, I don't know. It'd be nerve wracking, and then you probably get it all wrong. on the spot. That's the only thing is, I go out in front of nobody you even know of, and then performing it, and it's like, you're absolutely disaster to never come back again type thing.
That's part of it. Yeah, everyone goes through that. Yeah, every comedian. So it's not easy for sure.
Yeah. Any plans? Because of course you're back in the US on Monday, just in time for Halloween on the Tuesday. Are you doing anything for Halloween?
I fly back on Halloween Day. I'm actually moving, so it's
busy time,
I fly back the day before Halloween. So no big Halloween plans. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna probably be pretty boring on Halloween, so nothing crazy this year.
You might get people knocking your door though on Halloween night.
Well, I live in an apartment in New York, so that's the thing. It's not quite the same. I don't get trick-or-treaters as much, but hey, you never know.
You never know, because I always thought apartment blocks are better places to go to get more people to come trick or treating because there are more chances of somebody going to open the door type thing. But there you go.
Right. Yeah. The kids. Yeah. If you live in like a big apartment building with tons of apartments, the
Yeah,
kids like go up and down and
yeah.
just knock on. But there aren't. I don't think there are. Actually, there's one family with kids in my building,
Oh,
but
nice.
I don't know if there. I don't. There aren't enough apartments, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Then that's good for you. And of course, for anyone who don't know what apartment blocks is, it's basically flats over
Oh
here.
yeah, right. Yeah. See, you got to do the British translation.
It's fine with me. I don't mind it. They're used to it over here. But now it's great, and we wish you all the best of luck. In your successful the rest of the year. I hope your rest of your UK tour goes well. Of course, a reminder that he's going to be in Manchester at the theatre tomorrow. Then he's in Glasgow on Sunday. Very busy schedule. And he flies back again on Monday. It's hard work being you at the moment, and then you got to keep posting things as well on your social media to keep it up to date and get the next big thing out for people to enjoy as well. So it never stops, does it, for you at the moment?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy right now. But good thing it's all fun. So
Yes.
so luckily it's good busy.
It is, and I guess it keeps you busy, and as long as you're enjoying it, that's the main thing as well. And of course, we have been showing this on the screen before, and we'll show it again now. You can find my great guest, Kyle Gordon, on social media. You can find him on Facebook at Kyle Gordon is great. There's also him on on X as well, Kyle Gordon 101. I do like that username, and also on Instagram as well. Kyle Gordon is great. He's also on the TikTok, and I believe you're on the Threads as well. Is there any platform you're not on?
I'm not. I don't do it as much on Snapchat.
No, I don't
That
use
would be
Snapchat.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I used to be on there.
but pretty much, yeah. Everywhere else, yeah. Other than Twitter, at Kyle Gordon is great. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah.
I can understand on Twitter or /X because it's so long, isn't it? And that they won't allow you to have it.
Yeah, I
Be like
forget.
me.
I forget. Yeah, I think it was because I actually came up with that handle before I changed everything to Kyle Gordon is great, and you can't change your handle on Twitter, so I was
Oh no,
kind of
you
stuck at
can,
Kyle
you
Gordon
can, you
101.
can change your handle on X. You can, but it's only so many characters they allow it. But I know
Oh,
that
okay.
Kyle Gordon is great. It will be too long because I've
Oh,
tried
okay.
Edwin Fowler's show and it won't let me have the W.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's frustrating.
yeah, it is. So that's why I thought, oh, that's understandable why you've kept it the same because it's so long. But yeah, you can update it if you wanted to. But since we knows it now as 101 at the end of your name, it's like, what's the need?
Yeah.
But no, it's been a fabulous chat with you, Kyle. I hoped you've enjoyed your time on my show.
Yeah.
I want to know as well what made you to accept my invite. By the way, I'm just intrigued.
Well, it just was perfect timing. I saw you reach out, and
Yeah, via your
yeah,
website, by the way.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I know you were Manchester based, and I had
Yes.
this Manchester show, so hopefully some people will see this and uh, go check out the show.
Yes, exactly. And just one more time for people who want to check it out. You can check him out in Manchester tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you've not seen it, check it out. Manchester tomorrow, theatre, at the Home Theatre, and then also on Sunday at the Glee Club in Glasgow. Worth the go and watch once in a lifetime, once in an opportunity, once in a year. To check out Kyle Gordon only in the UK for the first time ever, and again, of course, you're on tour as well in the US. When did you begin your US tour, by the way? In case people it's after this weekend, thinking, where can I see you?
Well, so I'm based in New York, so I'm always doing shows in New York,
Yeah.
but yeah, the US the current upcoming US tour starts on Tuesday in Boston, and it goes through for about a week. So I'll be in Boston, Philly, then Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, St. Louis. I'm sure I'm missing something.
No, you're fine.
But
you're fine. There are enough places you mentioned before.
Check it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it begins on this Tuesday, you say, October 31st in Boston.
November 2nd, Thursday.
November 2nd, that's good. I was going to say, otherwise, you'd be really jet lagged from flying from over here then and performing already. So, November the 2nd in Boston, or wherever it's going to begin at. And that's my American way of saying Boston. I hope you like that.
Yeah, it's pretty close. That's good.
Good, I like that. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope that you will come back on my show again soon. I hope if you enjoyed your time here tonight. I hope.
Yeah, hopefully I'll come back to the UK.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm sure you will, because again, night one was great for you. I'm sure tomorrow night will be great, and I'm sure to cap it all off, Sunday night in Scotland is going to be off the charts for you.
Yep.
Great. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode with my guest, Kyle Gordon, just proves to you that you never know who's going to come on the show next. So you better be subscribed. It takes 10 seconds or less to subscribe to this channel. Make sure to smash that like button. Share the video around. Tell more about Kyle Gordon and how great of a comedian, of a musician as well, and also an actor. And check him all out. If you're in the area, go to one of his shows here in the UK or in the USA as well. And if you enjoyed tonight's show, then stick around for more great episodes from my show, because as you know, you never know who will be on the show next. Good night, everybody, and see you all in Greenwich Meantime.
All right, thanks so much.